welcome to this afternoon's Q&A following the shareholder meeting, the 2014 annual shareholder meeting of Google. For those of you who are not with us, we will dive into a brief recap showing the past 5 years of Google's growth, and thereafter we'll talk more about my current line of work, including areas of future growth. You'll have time to ask questions. Currently, Google is the 46th largest company on the Fortune 500 list. We are growing consistently year over year. And with that, let's take a look at the past 5-year analysis. Let's take a look at the income statement here. In 2010, you can see we had $29 billion in revenues, which has now increased substantially to $66 billion, more than doubling in the past 5 years. Going further, 89% of Google's revenue is currently derived from advertisements.
A question I have is, isn't there substantial risk in being under-diversified? And what is your current ad situation?
89% is a number that we are trying to get away from. Back in 2010, that number was 94%. So we've done some work in diminishing our reliance on Google being purely an ad-based company. But going further into your question of what's happening to ads right now, we're seeing a shift from people bidding on ads to the number of bids decreasing. So in 2012 to 2013, we saw that our cost per click had dropped by 8%. And as we go forward to this past year, people were paying on average about 5% less to have their ads featured as top results on our web pages. So you take this 5% and pan that over to the 46th largest company, that adds up to billions of dollars. And so we're working hard to make sure ads stay relevant and are generating money for companies so that they're willing to pay the premium to be featured on Google's web pages. And I'll take one more question from the audience here.
Sergey, what is being done to diversify?
Yeah, if we look closer into the revenue statement here, you can see that advertising revenues have grown substantially, but on a percentage basis, let's look at the other revenue line item. In just a matter of 2 years, revenue derived from non-advertising activities has increased 295%. And we think this growth is sustainable and will continue in the time ahead. A lot of this is coming from projects that once stemmed from Google X, which is the venture I currently oversee. Google X continuously searches for solutions that are better to today's solutions by a factor of 10. Google X only has 250 of our best employees, with Google itself having nearly 60,000 employees currently. To work at Google X, it requires non-program decision making. We are looking for the people who are always thinking out of the box and looking for solutions to activities that other engineers would be thinking about 10 years down the road. One such project we are really excited about is Project Loon. Google currently has tapped into 2 billion of the world's 7 billion people. However, we believe that there is substantial growth ahead if we can connect the remaining 5 billion people to the internet. So Loon seeks to do just that with having internet in these balloons, and people can connect to them as they float around the edge of the atmosphere. Google X is also involved in many other projects, including autonomous vehicles, Google Glass, Project Wing, Google Contact Lenses, Lyft Labs, the Web of Things, Calico, and looks like there's another question, and many more of which cannot be disclosed at this point in time.
Yeah, an additional question I have is, do you think that you have had an escalation of commitment within Google X with projects such as Google Glass?
It is evident Google Glass is something I'm very passionate about. I believe that people tend to look down at their phones and really detract from the world around us. And so Google Glass is something I believe in, and we have spent a lot of resources and time on Google Glass. I think at this point in time, it's just a little bit too far ahead of its period. Google Glass is something we've put on the back burners, but we'll continue to work on and make the technology better, smaller, and less invasive to currently those people who are currently wearing the technology. But I don't believe there's been an escalation of commitment. Our forecasts show that when this catches on, it'll catch on to the masses, and we believe that it'll be a great success having Google Glass with you every step of the way. Looking forward, though, a few more items that I wanted to touch base on is other revenue-generating activities include Google Play. In 2013, it grossed $1.3 billion, and we project it to grow substantially to $5.2 billion by the end of 2017. In addition, we have a lot of mergers and acquisition activities. Motorola Mobile was sold this year to Lenovo for $2.9 billion, and this represented a $740 million gain on the accounting books. Finally, other areas of increased revenue come from hardware sales, which include recent acquisition Nest, sales of Chromecast, our Google Nexus line, which includes phones and tablets, and Chromebooks. Any other questions in the audience at this point in time?
Nope.
Well, thanks for coming, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation this afternoon. That concludes what I have for you. Please make sure to take a Google Play voucher on your way out.